Well, one last section I wanted to cover for our first podcast is a section which I want to call profiles in success or something like this. I just want to talk about successful people who have done things in a way that I think is consistent with the way that I would like to teach, with the way that I would like the people in our community to think about doing things, at least our students, because we're really trying to teach proper steps. And I think, well, the guy I want to focus on today is named Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie was one of the first self-improvement gurus. And I guess you could say, in some sense, anybody who does what I'm doing now is involved in education of young people for more than just STEM field or academic field, but actually practical knowledge about the way people work and the way life works and the way to actually be what you want to be. The first guy to really do it, at least on a pop culture scale, was Dale Carnegie. And he did it, of course, by writing the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, which has been a hugely influential book on many of the great leaders around the world. Up until the time when he had written the book, there was not a lot of practical information about how to do the most valuable skill that there is in the world, which is getting other people to do what you want them to do, making friends, building allies, building coalitions, and moving forward in life with other people allowing you to move forward in life. And, he lived 100 years ago. He's credited with pioneering practical people skills coursework. So what Tony Robbins does, what Gary Vee does, what all of these self-help guys on the internet do now was first done by Dale Carnegie. And he did it with a mission. He did it from at first he said, well, what can I be? He tried to be all kinds of things. But he realized what he was really good at was debating. And then from there, he wanted to teach public speaking. And then from there, it became about how do you get people, especially in business and politics, to be what you want them to be. So it went from making friends and being successful in your office just to being a leader of men. What does that mean? What does that take? And what we're trying to do here in this podcast is we're trying to we're also trying to show what it takes, only in a much more concrete way. I am not here to teach you the nuanced secrets of how people will like you or not. I'm not here to teach you how to make girls like boys or how to make boys like girls. I'm here to talk about how to put food on the plate, to participate in the world of money changing hands, of dreams taking place. Because if you have a dream, there's a real good chance that it's best accomplished by forming a business about that dream. And so what I want to be is what Dale Carnegie was. And I really hope to step into his footsteps in some ways. But what he did was he became a salesman. He got out of school. He tried a number of things with mixed success. And he realized that if he sold things, he was good at it, even at a very young age. And so he was able to save up $500 and he moved to New York City. And then from there, he tried to be an actor. He went to acting school. He wanted to be an actor. Maybe he had some talent, I don't know, but he was having a hard time with it. He was struggling. He was running out of money. And this is the point that I want to talk about the most. He knew what he was good at, and that's public speaking. He was a great debater. He was vice president of his class in school. And he knew that most other people around him had a really hard time with public speaking. And so what he did was he wanted to start a school. Well, he didn't have the money for the space, so what did he do? He went to the great universities of the time in New York, and they turned him down. They said, we're not interested in such coursework. He went to the YMCA, and he convinced them to let him hold night courses in their location. This is the most important step. It's a widely overlooked detail about his life, but every good thing that came in his life came as a result of making that initial agreement. He found a space, a legitimate space, because YMCA was already known for having such classes. He found a space to hold a program that he had already developed, and it gave him a certain amount of credibility, and then he became popular very quickly. Before you knew it, he opened up his own facility. You see, most people, I think when they're planning a business, especially young people, about how expensive it is to make a business and how impossible it is to develop the business that you want to make or to make your dreams come true. They think they need to take responsibility for their own location or their own expensive equipment. Or they think all of these expenses are going to happen when they don't necessarily need to happen. There's almost nothing you can start your business with that you can't find a way to get for a reduced price, or even free, or on the back of a promise about the future. If you say to the location holder, I will give you a piece of whatever I make from these students, they'll probably let you come and set up. Maybe not all of them. You might get some no's. But eventually you'll come to a place where they're just like, yeah, we got a lot of extra space. We will let you set up, and you can pay us from what you make. We will be partners. That's what you're hoping for. And that's really all I wanted to talk about with him. Aside from the fact that he went on to write 6 or dozens of books, he went on to be a worldwide leader, worldwide celebrity. He's considered a pioneer. He was a great man, hugely successful. He died wealthy. And, his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is obviously his biggest hit. Everyone has their widely biggest hit, I guess, unfortunately. You'd like all of your books to be equally successful. But it was on the bestseller list for like 10 years. So he spent a big piece of his, 40s and 50s, a national celebrity. So it all started with him developing the program he wanted to make to provide the service he wanted to provide. And then from there, it became about where are we going to provide this service? What will the location be? In the modern day, he could have just set up online and just gotten going. But back then, he had to have a place. I don't know how he went about marketing his courses, but they were very popular. So he got, 12 people in the first class? They went out and told 3 people each. He had 30 people in his next class. Then he has 50 in his next, 100 in his next, 150 in his next, 300, 500, 600, 700, 1,000, so on. This is how you grow because people tell each other. And so that's what we're hoping to do here. We've made a course about how to make your own business. It's on YouTube now. We're releasing a little bit at a time. It was our first effort to make some content. And from there, we're in Ukraine now. We're in Kyiv. And we're attempting to get involved with local organizations who can see the work that we've done online. And then we're hoping to hold courses through them, through their organization, so, to their base. And then, now we're opening this podcast. And it's the same effort to generate information. We want to educate. That is our first priority. If we can help anybody in the audience know the steps it takes to do things just a little bit better, avoid some mistakes, avoid some misprioritizations. That's right. We want to avoid that. We want to escape, help people escape from wasted years, from not understanding how to do what they want to do. Any 16-year-old who sees this, let me tell you, I'm 36. 16 to 26, you have 10 years to make a business. If you start now, you will have it. You will have it. Just start now and give it 10 years. At 26, you're going to feel almost as young as you do right now. Then from 26 to 36, you can make another business. If I can help a 16-year-old take steps to make his business properly, then I've saved him 20 years that I don't feel like I lost it, but I know I made a lot of mistakes. I know I made a lot of wrong turns. Some mentoring would have really benefited me, especially at key points, to give me the answers I need from somebody else who has similar experience. Now, I didn't have that, and I remember how confused or frustrated it made me some certain times. And so I'm able to identify this problem. I'm sure other people are having the same problem, and I would like to set up. I think Dale Carnegie was in the same position. I just hope that I can demonstrate the same sort of results that he had. If I could do it not with personal skills, but with business skills, if I could help 1,000 or 2,000 people in my life start their own small business, it's more success than I could hope for. It's a way to be truly a benefit to the world around me, and maybe create some value too. That's what we all want. So I thank you for listening. I appreciate you for coming. This is our very first one. It's been a big deal. Now that I'm saying these closing remarks, it kind of shakes me up a little bit. I feel strange. But we're going to be right back here next week, and we're going to be stepping up our quality. And if you have any comments or anything you'd like to say, I would love to hear it, good or bad. I want to get better. Please subscribe and hit the bell. That way you'll be up on what we're doing. And thank you for coming.